Welcome back to the online learning platform at Department of Civil Engineering, BMS Institute of Technology and Management. I am Rajesh Gopinath, and today we shall be discussing yet another important topic from water supply and treatment engineering. If you recollect, last class we had spoken about slow sand filters. In today's class, we shall be converging upon rapid sand filters. If you can have a glimpse of slide 4, it clearly indicates that slow sand filters have been far replaced with rapid sand filters. But there is no denial that even though filtration is given, disinfection remains a very important utility. Slide 5 actually presents how the concept will be converged upon. We shall be discussing briefly about the flow scheme. We shall be speaking about its construction, the working principle, its performance, the operation and maintenance, the advantages, disadvantages it offers, the summary, and of course, towards the end of this presentation, we shall be looking at the list of references. And let's begin. Slide 6, rapid sand filters. When compared to slow sand filters, rapid sand filters holds numerous advantages. For instance, the rate of filtration. While slow sand filter, if you remember, the rate of filtration was 100 to 200 liters per hour per square meter of filter bed. Rapid sand filters, on the other hand, the rate of filtration is 3,000 to 6,000 liters per minute per square meter of filter bed. While slow sand filters took about 1 to 3 months with respect to cleanup, the period of cleaning for rapid sand filter is 2 to 3 days. Okay. Now, rapid sand filters, unlike slow sand filters, are more competitive in removing color, odor, turbidity. However, rapid sand filters are not that great at removing bacteria. If you recollect, slow sand filters could remove 98 to 99% of bacteria, while rapid sand filters, removes only about 80 to 90%. That is why, if you actually compare, both seem to complement each other. And that is why, if you go with the concept of double filtration, then it serves to be the best form of removal of bacteria, virus, parasite, color, odor, and turbidity. Let's go on to slide number 7. Let's see where exactly your filter fits. Unlike slow sand filters, wherein there was a mandated condition that the water must enter after passing through plain sedimentation, however, should not pass through coagulation. However, in the context of rapid sand filter, it is mandatory that the water should pass through coagulation, flocculation, and only then enter the rapid sand filter. Slide 8 shows you a typical construction of a rapid sand filter. Let's look at something more simpler by moving on to slide 9. Now, just like your slow sand filters, the construction features are quite similar, if not exactly the same. Let's probe further. Like your slow sand filters, rapid sand filters are also rectangular in shape. They are open to the atmosphere. While slow sand filters occupied a greater area, while slow sand filters occupied a greater area of 100 to 1,000 square meters, rapid sand filters are more compact, the unit surface area being 20 to 50 square meters. Okay. Now, the depth of rapid sand filters is about 2.5 to 3.5 meters, wherein the length to width ratio is 1.25 to 1.35. Generally, these filters are arranged in series. Again, these filters have a filter media and base material. If you remember, the filter media and the base material, with respect to gradation, as you move from the topmost layer to bottommost layer, the size was increasing. However, since the water is passing through coagulation and coming here, that arrangement cannot be worked out. Rather, it is the other way. Base material, there is no change, okay? For a depth of 45 to 60 centimeters, it is divided into 4 layers of 15 centimeters each, wherein as you move from the top layer to the bottom layer, the size increases. But if you look at the filter media, it is the other way. In this context, it is the filter media or the sand particles which are the topmost layer which are of the greatest size. And as you move down, okay, as you move down to its depth of 60 to 90 centimeters, the size reduces. Let's move further to its under drainage system. This also has laterals, which is usually made up of cast iron, and the objective of laterals is to collect water from individual filter bed, and from the laterals, the filtered water is drained to the main drain. Different types of, under drainage system can be applied here, such as the Wagner system, the Wheeler system, the Leopold system, the perforated pipe system, or as simple as the pipe and strainer system. Now, what you see different in rapid sand filter from the slow sand filter is in terms of its appurtenances. Apart from the inlet section and outlet section, you can see more number of valves. If you recollect, slow sand filter had only 2 valves, inlet valve, outlet valve. But here you see more than those. Now, if you observe carefully slide number 9, there is something called as wash water trough. Also, it contains a apparatus which basically is meant to supply air during the backwash operation, that is air compressors. Okay, let's move further. Let's move on to slide 10. So whatever I had spoken so far, the same information has been provided for your kind perusal. Okay, now please note, just like slow sand filters, the criteria of your filter media and your base media remains the same. They themselves should be free from any form of impurity. Let's move on to slide 11. So this describes the under drainage system as I had spoken about. Let's move on to slide 12. So this speaks about the wash water trough and the air compressors which are handy during the backwash operation. How they are handy or how they are applied or useful will be described in the further slides. Slide 13. This slide depicts a typical rapid sand filter. Let us now try to understand how the filter works. And in order to do that, first we need to understand the different valve system. While slow sand filter had just 2 valves, here you can see it has 6 valves. Valve number 1, it is the inlet valve which permits water from coagulation unit to enter the filter. Valve number 2, it is that which permits the filtered water to be decanted to the next treatment, which could be very well disinfection. Valve 3, it is that valve which is meant to drain the wash water, and this basically comes into practice after backwash. I will repeat, valve 3, to remove or decant wash water after backwash operation. Valve 4, this is that valve which permits wash water to enter the base media during backwash. Valve 5, it is that valve which permits removal of filtered water into the drain. Valve 6, it is that valve which supplies compressed air into the drains. So, my dear friends, 6 unique valves, 6 unique functions. Now, let us see how a filter, how the rapid sand filter would function under normal circumstances. Okay? All the valves to be closed except valve 1 and 2, which means during normal functioning, valve 3, 4, 5, 6 remain closed and only 1 and 2 function. That is, 1 which permits the raw water to enter and 2 which permits the filtered water to be removed. Let's understand. When the water from the coagulation unit enters through the pipeline network from 1, it falls into the inlet chamber. Kindly follow and observe the slide very carefully. The water which falls down into the inlet chamber will move towards valve 3, but since it is closed, the water cannot proceed further. Rather, the water begins to rise. As the water begins to rise, sedimentation will first happen. As the water rises, then it enters from the inlet chamber into the filter chamber, which contains your filter media and base media. Now, here, unlike the slow sand filters where it was the biological metabolism which took care of the filtration, in rapid sand filters, it is basically sedimentation and and the mechanical straining and electrostatic attraction which comes into action. So the water gradually falls over the filter media, then the water gradually moves down by gravity into the gravel. So during this process, filtration takes place. From the gravel, the water enters the laterals. From the lateral, it enters into the main drain. Now observe carefully. When the water enters into the main drain, it moves in the direction where there are 2 valves, 5 and 2. Since 5 is closed, the filtered water does not enter the drain. Rather, it goes via 2 to the disinfection unit. So, I'll repeat. Valve 1, raw water enters from coagulation unit, enters the inlet chamber, rises up, gradually falls into the filter chamber, falls over the sand, then comes down to the gravel, enters the under drains. Okay, from the under drain, via the main drain, it goes to the outlet. Let us now understand how to carry out the cleaning operation. Obviously, over a period of time, as the filter keeps working, at one instant, there would be a loss of head or a negative head. It indicates probably clogging or cracking or any other maintenance issue with respect to a filter. In this context, it is time that the filter is cleaned. While in slow sand filters, if you recollect, the interval of cleaning was once in 3 months. Okay, in rapid sand filters, it is 24 to 72 hours. Okay, now when the cleaning operation has to happen, you need to follow a sequence of steps. Step number 1, close the first valve and second valve. Basically, if you remember, during the normal operation, only first and second valve were actually open. The rest were closed. So, when cleaning has to be done, please close V1 and V2. Second step, open valve 6. When you open the valve 6, the compressed air from the compressor will enter into the under drains. Okay, then it rises through the base media, through the filter media, and as the air rises through the base and the filter, it shakes up, it loosens the configuration in the filter chamber. Next step, close valve 6 and open valve 3. Close valve 6 and open valve 4. So what we have done is we have closed the air compressor valve which was permitting air, that air which has loosened the filter media. Now having closed it, when you open valve 4, water from the wash water storage tank enters into the base media. Then the water, since it is coming with pressure, the water tends to rise through the gravel into the sand and into the wash water trough. So here actually what happens is, with the facilitation by air compressor to loosen the structure, water which is rising rises with all the impurities and enters the wash water trough. Okay. Now you need to close this valve number 4 and you have to open the valve number 3. What happens now? The water which is rising will fall into the inlet chamber. When it enters the inlet chamber, it obviously cannot go into 1, it tends to move towards 3. Since 3 is opened, this wash water goes to the drain. Okay, let's continue. Now once this is done, you need to close valve number 3 and you need to open valve number 1 and valve number 5. So now when you open valve number 1, the water, that is the raw water, enters inlet chamber, cannot go out through 3, rises and falls onto the filter bed, into the base, into the laterals, and then comes out. When it comes out, it cannot go into 2. It eventually goes out through 5, which also goes to drain. The idea is, immediately the water which comes out after backwash is not safe enough to be consumed or to be sent for disinfection. Let me repeat once again the cleaning operation. Close valve 1 and 2. Open valve 6. After air has loosened the filter bed, close valve 6. Open valve 4. Wash water enters base, filter, and finally with the dirt, the water enters into wash water trough. From there it falls into inlet chamber and goes out via 3. Now that valve 4 and 3 is also closed, open 1 and 5. Raw water enters into inlet chamber, then into the filter chamber, comes out from the under drains and escapes through 5 into the drain. After you carry out this operation for few minutes, you need to now close valve number 5 and open valve number 2, because after certain minutes or after few minutes, as we would rightly put it across, okay, the filtration would be back to its normal efficiency. Hence, the filtered water can be collected via valve 2. I hope the explanation is simple and well understood by each one of you. Now let us move on to slide 14. This clearly represents the information that I had discussed with you in terms of the nomenclature of valves, in terms of the normal functioning. Slide 15 explains the operations with respect to cleaning the filter. Let's move on to slide 16. Slide 16 depicts the performance of rapid sanitizers. As you can see, its percentage removal with respect to turbidity is pretty commendable, and the same can be commented with respect to color, iron, odor, manganese and taste. However, when you look at the removal efficiency of bacteria, it is quite less when compared to slow sand filters. Let's move further. Slide 17. Slide 17 speaks about the operation and maintenance of rapid sand filters. As I said, the backwash needs to be done for every 1 to 3 days. Okay. Now, unlike slow sand filters, you cannot hand over the in charge or control to any worker just like that. In the context of rapid sand filter, you need to ensure that the worker is skilled, trained, and aware of the precautionary measures which needs to be taken with respect to troubleshooting. Let's move on to 18. Let's look at the advantages. Obviously, it requires less land. The rate of filtration is enormous when compared to the slow sand filters and extremely efficient in reducing turbidity. Unlike the slow sand filters, which takes a lot of time in terms of cleaning it, rapid sand filters takes about few minutes. Now, what could be the disadvantages then? Let's go to 19. Slide 19, as it indicates, clearly depicts that it has high investment and operational cost. With skilled supervision and energy demands, you're talking about more money being pumped into it. However, despite all this, this filter cannot remove pathogens, and that's a very big matter of concern. So friends, let's summarize. Slide 20. Rapid sand filters are generally operated after clariflocculation. Subsequently, if this filter is employed, it can reduce load on the operations which are after this. Rapid sand filters definitely do not undertake biological metabolism for filtration. So friends, let's move on to the references. These are the references which can enable you to access and enhance more knowledge than what I have attempted to transfer to you. Let's look at slide 22. This is the topic for our next class, pressure filters. I'm sure by looking at the image itself, you would have realized it is totally different from a slow sand filter or a rapid sand filter, which was basically a concrete structure or a masonry structure and open to atmosphere. But here it is not so. That was a structure which could not be, which actually was, greater than the size of a building. And now you see a structure which is inside a room. So my dear friends, we shall learn about this in the next class. So I thank one and all for yet again a session of patient hearing. For any clarifications and doubts, you can definitely reach out to me. I'm Rajesh Gopinath signing out. Thank you. Godspeed.